Hey, how you doing? This one's gonna be a little bit rambly, I suspect, so I'll apologise now. For those of you that have been following my channel for any real length of time, you'll probably be fully aware that I have a bit of an issue with my knee. 4 years ago, I broke the end off my femur, had it screwed back together, had to learn to walk again, really, and effectively I've been out of training for 4 years. It's not quite bad enough to be classed as a permanent disability, but it's not great. If I don't do any training, it doesn't really affect my day-to-day life. It swells up a bit, it's a bit sore. Painkillers, paracetamol, Tylenol, whatever you want to call it, that's enough to do the trick. Sometimes it gives way for no apparent reason. And I have a walking stick, a cane in the car, just in case I need it. But effectively, I've been miserable not training. So I decided to start training again. And thankfully for me, there's a relatively local martial arts gym recently opened up. It's run by a fantastic guy. He's Seb from Team Cowbon. He's a Muay Thai guy originally, but another friend of mine, Matt Whitten, Country Boy Jiu-Jitsu, has started teaching Jiu-Jitsu down there. Matt's great. He's quite into wrestling as well, so it's got a really nice feel to his stuff's got, it works for me. So I thought, what the hell? Let's go back and give it a go. Now, I'm 48 years old. I'm as unfit as I've ever been in my life. I'm carrying quite a lot of extra weight. I put on a bit when I injured my knee and I wasn't really able to train. And 2 years of intermittent COVID lockdowns have not helped with that. I've been dieting recently to try and lose a bit of that, and I've been going to the gym, just working out. But yeah, 9 days ago, I turned up at a BJJ grappling class. And do you know what? It was really, really interesting. I've done 3 classes over that period of time now. And I love it. Absolutely love it. But there are some issues. There's the obvious issues that I'm out of shape. And it's one thing to go for a long walk on a regular basis. That's fine. It might help you lose weight. It might help your cardiovascular fitness a little bit. It doesn't help a blind bit. It doesn't help at all, even a tiny bit, when you're rolling with somebody who's better than you. You get gassed amazingly quickly. So yeah, over the last week and a half, my fitness levels have come up significantly just through spending a lot of time rolling. And the classes are usually about an hour and a half. We'll do a bit of a warm-up, we'll do some drills, and then 45 minutes of just rolling. 6-minute rounds, 45-second break, get on the mats, roll, have a break, pick someone else, roll. So yeah, the first time back, it was a bit of an eye-opener, wasn't it? Because in my head I was still quite good. I've trained with some amazing people. I've been doing this for a long time. I'm a catch wrestler. I know what to do. I could get on the mats. I'd be pre-injury. I was fit. I had plenty of gas in the tank. I had a lot of knowledge, quite a lot of experience. I could roll with blue belts, purple belts without much worry. Brown and black belts at jiu-jitsu would generally kick my ass. But I was fine, yeah. I was okay at that level. Bit of a different thing now. It depends very much. And what I've found, because I've done some gi and some no gi over the last few days, the last week or so. Gi, very different animal. Still hate it. Just get destroyed. Completely and utterly destroyed. No gi, not so much. I'm much better at getting out, escaping, moving around, controlling my opponent. That's kind of what I'm used to. So there's more instinctive movement there than there is in the gi. I never really had instinctive movement in the gi. In Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu terms, I'm a white belt with no stripes. I quite like that. But anyway, that's not really the point. This video is to talk about the biggest problem of all. And the biggest problem that I've found over these last 3 sessions, and I suspect is going to be something that dogs me forever, because it kind of did before, even though I didn't talk about it, is ego. It's really, really hard to accept that you aren't very good. When you've been quite good, and now you're not, your subconscious mind still thinks that you're good at this. So when I'm rolling with somebody who 4 years ago I could quite happily hold my own against or beat, or, you know, it wasn't a problem, and they've carried on training throughout those 4 years. Yeah, that's a really difficult thing to get your head round. Matt, who is running it, he's a black belt under Andy Roberts, who trained under Mauricio Gomez and Roger Gracie. Andy's a 2nd or 3rd degree black belt, I can't remember. Really good, you know. Matt's good. And I rolled with Matt a few years ago, and yeah, he was better than me, no question. But it wasn't utterly one-sided. Now, I can't even move the man. And this is a really difficult thing to get my head around, because it's hard to be crap at something. It really is. And I understand why people just stop and then don't come back. Because it's a really difficult mental hurdle to clear. And I know, logically, that when I go training, I have a great time. And people are very accommodating about the fact that I've got a bit of a gammy leg, and that there are some things I simply can't do. Some things I can, you know, and I'm trying to still feel out what I can and can't do at the moment. But the guys that are training, they're all great. They're very accommodating. They're very happy to kind of work with me to get me training as much as I can, which is amazing. And I know I'll have a great time, and I know I'm getting better at it, and I know that my gas tank is massively improving, my flexibility is massively improving, and even over those 3 sessions over the last 9 days or so, I've taken a huge step back to the level I was at. There's a long way to go. But even knowing all of that, when I know I've got to get my gear together and get down at the gym, I still have this voice in the back of my head saying, oh, just don't bother. It's all right. You don't have to. There's no need. Just don't bother going. Nobody will mind. And I know that whatever reasons my subconscious mind throws at me for not going, they're actually just bullshit. It's just a way of saying, you're going to lose. You're going to be crap at this. So don't go. And I'd like to think that that's going to get easier. But I'm not convinced it is. Because however good I get, there's always going to be people better than me. And I guess that's the thing. And that's the lesson, I think, that grappling teaches us that's more important than anything else. Yes, it teaches us movement. It teaches us how to control our opponent. It teaches us all sorts of physical skills. It makes us more confident. It makes us fitter. It makes us more flexible. All of these things. But that humility, being able to say, it's okay to do something knowing that you're going to fail, because in failing, you're going to learn, and that's actually going to make you better in the long run. But again, it's really easy to know that, but you know, it's in here, it's really hard to internalize it. So, yeah, I'm having a lot of fun. I'm struggling a bit, both physically on the mats and emotionally making myself go. But do you know what? It's so nice to be back training again. So much of my identity as a martial artist has been tied up in actually physically grappling, getting on the mats and wrestling and throwing people and being thrown and training and rolling and kind of, you know, doing the actual physical art of fighting, recreational violence, that not having been able to do it has had a fairly significant impact on me. And whilst I love the old books, this sort of stuff, I adore them, and I'm still collecting books all the time, and I'm still making videos on them, and that's not going to stop. I don't want to be the guy that's just that guy with the books who used to train. So I guess we'll see how it goes. Hopefully I won't injure myself too much, and I've done something to my hand this time. I don't know if you can tell, it's a bit swollen. Had to take my ring off because my finger's a bit fat. I know exactly what I did. I threw someone and my hand got tangled up underneath him. He kind of had hold of me, and when we landed on the floor, my hand was underneath. Felt a bit sore. It's not broken, but it is a bit fat. Stuff like that's going to happen all the time. That's alright. As long as it doesn't put me out for 4 years, I guess I'm happy. So, what about you? Are you training? Have you had a break in training over COVID? And if so, how's that affected you? Has it made it difficult for you to get back into it? What about those of you with injuries? If you had a long layoff, how's getting back training been for you? Let me know. I'm really interested to hear what you say, and what your experiences have been. And yeah, I'll speak to you soon. Take care.